Anxious attachment develops when a child's caregiver is inconsistent, emotionally available at times, but distracted, unpredictable, or emotionally absent at others. The child doesn't know what to expect. Sometimes their needs are met with warmth and closeness. Other times they're ignored, dismissed, or met with irritation. This uncertainty creates anxiety. The child becomes hyper-aware of any changes in the caregiver's mood or availability. They learn to cling, to protest, to overplease, because love feels unstable, and any small sign of distance feels threatening. This early experience doesn't just fade with time. It becomes encoded in the nervous system, and it shows up later, especially in close relationships. As adults, people with anxious attachment often experience a deep fear of abandonment. They may crave intimacy, but worry that it will be taken away. A delayed reply, a neutral tone, or a moment of silence can trigger intense anxiety. Their mind fills in the gaps with worst-case scenarios. They may overthink, overanalyze, or become overly accommodating, just to keep the connection safe. It's exhausting. For them, and often for their partners too. At the core of anxious attachment is a learned belief. I must work for love. If I relax, I will be forgotten. This belief doesn't come from weakness or neediness. It comes from a survival strategy developed when love was unpredictable. And even when they enter into secure relationships, people with anxious attachment may still struggle to trust what's right in front of them. Because the fear isn't logical, it's emotional, subconscious, and rooted in early experience. This is why traditional talk therapy sometimes doesn't go deep enough. We can understand why we behave a certain way, but still feel unable to stop. That's because the pattern lives beneath the surface, not just in the mind, but in the body and emotional memory. And that's where hypnotherapy can offer something different. It allows us to access the original emotional material, the beliefs and fears formed long before we had words to explain them. We can revisit the younger parts of the self who still feel unsafe, still waiting for reassurance, still afraid of being left. And in a safe, guided state, we can begin to offer those parts a new experience, one of stability, warmth, and unconditional presence. With time and repetition, this deep work helps reshape how the nervous system responds to closeness. You start to relax into love instead of bracing for its loss. You begin to feel enough, without having to perform, please, or prove anything. And you slowly move toward the experience of secure attachment, not as a theory, but as a felt reality.